Hi everyone, it's Vicky from createafashionbrand.com and fashionserviceshongkong.com. And this week I've got an email from Chris in Sydney. And Chris has been watching a few of the other videos that we've done in the 5 Minute Fashion Brand playlist. And he asks kind of more of a general question as well about building fashion brands. And Chris is kind of at the beginning stages. He's just planning, he's thinking of ideas. And he said, how easy is it to start a fashion brand? Now this is quite an interesting question because and I kind of go away from fashion for just a minute, but there was a thing on the news the other night. They were talking about education, and my husband is a secondary school teacher, and we were having this debate about what we both thought of this new plan for secondary schools. And he said, he kind of laughed and he said, everyone has an opinion because they went to school. They all think that they know what happens in schools and how it all works. And I was kind of thinking about it, and I thought, yeah, actually, when I think about some of the questions that clients ask, sometimes the attitudes that people come to me with, it is very relaxed. They do seem to think that it's going to be easy. And to be fair, I can't blame them. It's partly the fashion industry's fault. We promote this image of glamour and just going off and having lunch, and we'll just whip up some designs, and we'll start Project Runway will give us some challenges every week and we'll win it, and oh wow, we're famous and well done us. So I can't really blame people, but it's kind of the same thing. We do assume that, I suppose, because we put clothes on every day, or we're kind of looking at them and going, oh, this is not a pair of leggings or a t-shirt, or we don't kind of realize what goes into it, because most of it is about the product. The most amount of questions I get is about manufacturing, and actually manufacturing, once you learn all the stuff you need to know, is not that hard. It's the learning it at the beginning that's the difficult part. But if you're doing, let's say, swimwear, you've got to learn a bit about the fabrics, the stitching, the machinery that you need to use. Once you know that, once you have that, and you're just designing with, say, similar fabrics and similar machinery and things over and over, actually that bit is quite easy. The part that we forget is the brand itself, and that's the difficult part. It's also hard because as creative people, and I include myself in this, we like the fun stuff. We like the designing and the fabrics and the colours, and all this is great. But what we find more difficult is the business. And it is a business. If you take away the actual product, you still have to run a business. You've still got to look through data and spreadsheets and do business stuff. So I think that in itself is the hardest part. But I've always maintained, if you watch a number of my other videos, or you're on my email list or read my blog, that actually there's a few key things. If you do them in the beginning, then they will answer a lot of questions for your brand as you go along. And the aim of a brand, a successful brand, is consistency. So what do I mean? Okay, well, there's a couple of things you should really focus on, because this will make your life easier. So having a really clear set of core values, and having a really well-researched customer profile. Because what that will do is, between those two things, they will answer every question you ever have as an owner of a fashion brand. So for example, let's say you're doing you want to do a luxury brand, and one of your core values is, good quality fabrics, etc. But then you get to manufacturing, and maybe you don't have that much money, and you realize that you're going to have to do one of two things. You're either going to have to cheapen the product, or you're going to have to order less of the product. Well, because one of your key values is good quality fabrics and design or whatever, you kind of answered your own question, right? You can't make the product cheaper, because then it might not be good quality. So you're going against your own brand values, your core values. So then what do? You have to order less. So everything that you have, your core values, your customer profile, All of that will achieve consistency, which is the thing that makes brands successful, but they'll also answer all of the questions that you have. So the key thing is, make sure you have really good sources of information. I'd like to include myself in that, of course. And I will leave links in the description box below for all my blog posts, etc. So please go read through it. And also, yeah, just having the great source of information, your customer profile, and your core values. And make sure you get on my email list, because I do also send out, as well as these videos and the blog posts that I write, I do also send out weekly emails with additional tips and help that you need to sign up to make sure that you're getting all of that. And you get a free 66-page startup guide. So that can't be bad either. Okay, so if you liked this video, please like it. Please give me a thumbs up. Share it if you think it's been helpful. And please comment if you've got a question for me that you want me to answer. Please go to our main video. You can't miss it. There is a link as well below. It says 5-minute fashion brand, big yellow letters. And there'll be a link at the end of this video. Please leave me your comment and I will answer your questions next week.